Hello everybody. In this tutorial we are going to model a trimmer head. So as stated here, this problem is to create an equation driven part in which we have three different widths for our part, and they are called here driving dimensions. We have L1, L2 and L3. We have the values here. And it says that regardless of the total width that we are going to choose out of those three, the width and the number of teeth in the head should remain the same. So we have here a fixed value for the teeth, for the tooth width, which is 0.12 inches, and the number on total 9. So the only thing that has to change, or the only thing that is going to be variable, is the spacing between each tooth, which is here from S1 to S8. We're going to start sketching by sketching the side view here and then extruding it to the desired length. Go into SolidWorks, create a new part. And before you start, you have to make sure that you are using the right unit in the document properties units, because we are going to use inches here. Let's start drawing. I'm going to choose the front plane, sketch, and for this part here, for this sketch here, I'm going to draw something that resembles as much as possible this shape here, and then I'm going to dimension it later. By the way, I have my smart dimension as a keyboard shortcut. I chose Alt X. That's something that I customized just to make it easier and preserve some time, that I don't have to go and pick up the tool every time. I'm gonna start sketching by clicking on L. I have straight lines. Yes. Yep. Oh, this one is not necessary. Yeah. Like that, and dimension it. This one here is 0.85. This one here is 0.62. And this one is 0.62. Zoom out a little bit. And this one was quarter. Total length here is 2.5 inches. There to there. And from this point to this point is 1.6. And the width here is 0.1. Now we have complete. I'm going to extrude this part to the mid plane. Just to make sure that all the dimensions are correct. Yeah. And I'm going to choose the highest value here, 4.96. I'm going to do the fillets and those two ends here, this one and this one, and they are quarter. And then I'm going to create those two holes. Those two holes are concentric with the fillet. I'm going to create a circle. I'm going to dimension it. Diameter was quarter. And then this circle is concentric with this curve. Yeah. Now it's fixed, fully defined, sorry. And I'm going to make the cut first, and then I'm going to mirror the cut to the other side. Yeah. It is better to create a feature and then mirror the feature rather than creating a sketch and then mirroring the sketch, and then you have to apply feature to both of them. And then I need to mirror to the other side, I think around the front plane, the other side of the front plane, as my mirror face on my mirror plane. Cut around the front plane. I'm gonna hide it again. And I'm gonna create one of the spacings and cut also. Start sketching. I'm gonna create a square. The square is on the edge here, and as you have noticed, or as you should have noticed, that the teeth width or the tooth width is constant, so I'm gonna dimension it between the edge and the first space. It's gonna be out of, and this dimension here is 1.5, the length of this spacing. Not really, also it's not gonna change. And for the sake of having the dimension data for to drive our equation, so I'm gonna just put a number here. I'm gonna make it a ½ inch, and I'm gonna cut. Oh, sorry. Again to the surface. And to build, or to make our equations, I'm gonna have to show the feature dimensions so I can pick them up, and also show the names. And this one, I'm gonna need it. It's usually hidden like that. This one. I'm gonna need this one. I'm going to need also the spacing here. I'm going to need the teeth width. So I'm gonna go with my equation over here. So I'm going to define a few things. I'm gonna start with the width that we have, total width, which is going to be D1, I'm gonna also put teeth width. It's better to put an underscore here. And this one is gonna be the fixed. The one here. And number of teeth. We have 9. And the variable space. Variable space. It's gonna be D3. Now I have my global variables ready. I'm going to write the equation of the variable space, which I'm going to explain now. So looking at the sketch here, it can be seen that, so let's say the sum of the total of the space here is equal to subtracting the tooth width multiplied by the number from the total width at that time. So that means I'm going to write it this way: variable space no, not this way. I choose sorry. Manage equations again. I'm going to say that D3 is equal to total width. I'm going to make bracket minus the number of teeth multiplied by teeth width. So that would give me the total that I meant, or the value of the total spacing together, but I need only the value of one of them, so I'm gonna divide it on the number, which are 8 here. So you can either just say divided by 8 or divided by the number of teeth minus 1. Make it this one, divided by 8. This one's complete. Yeah, now it's ready. And we're going now to create a linear pattern for this cut here. So I'm gonna do this. I'm going to choose the direction. I'm going to choose the direction of this edge. As you can see, there are total 8. That's right. And the spacing in between is going to be also some sort of an equation. So it's going to be an equal to the variable space, but so as a clarification for the linear pattern, the spacing is the space between, I'm going to give an example. Make it clear. So the spacing in the linear pattern is the space between a point on the original sketch and the same point on the next, in the next copy of it. Yeah, in the next instance. So in this example here, I choose 0.6, but you cannot choose a fixed value here, because this value has to be changing with the change of the width. So you need this value to be also variable depending on the total width and the variable space at that time. So it's depending on the variable space, and the variable space depends on the total width. So it's gonna be, you can choose the global variable. It's gonna be the variable space. This one will be exactly like there's no space in between the instances. So the right thing to do right now is that the distance between each one and the other one is the variable distance plus the teeth width. So if you add it here plus teeth width, now it will make sense. So the difference between this point and this point here is going to be the variable space, whatever the value is at that time, plus the teeth width. That's not going to change. Now it's going to be right. I'm gonna hide my feature and let's give it a try. Show the feature again. So if I change it, the total width to the value L2 here, let's see what's gonna happen. 3.96. Now that exactly what we desired is that the teeth width remain the same and the number remain the same, and only the variable spacing or the spacing between each tooth changed. And same is gonna happen with L1, and same is gonna happen with any value that one can put here. For example 7, it's gonna be all the same case. I'm gonna go back. Last thing one should do is to create a fillet for all edges of a value 0.03 inches. So to create that one, we have here a lot of edges actually. So there's an inner edge here, there's this one, this one, this one. So it doesn't make sense that the person should track every edge like that. And then the other one and this, it would consume a lot of time. So one clever thing that can be done is to input the value and then mark all edges. It's gonna take some time because it computes every edge and also shows me a full preview, so I know which ones that was not picked yet. So it's gonna mark all dimensions first, and then it's gonna show me a preview. Yeah, just to make sure. On the back also, yeah, all of them are chosen. What you need, just click OK, and the part is ready. Everything is fulfilled. You can, if you want, as the last thing, to change the color. Appearance of the whole part. I'm just gonna come back here again. So for the appearance, if I choose only the face, so it's only this face here. If I choose the boss extrude, so it's gonna be only this feature here. And this is the body, and this is the whole part. Yeah, choose this yellow here. not this one. So now the part is ready.